Hey everyone, thank you for joining me. Today is day 54 of quarantine, but I am now in New Jersey at my parents' home recording the video here for you today. So thank you for joining me, and today we're going to be doing spinal twisting. So spinal twisting is really very beneficial for your body. Why? Because we do it every day. We move in diagonals, we reach across our bodies, when we walk, we also have a bit of rotation in our spine, and it's really good to help the soft tissue of your back. It helps to decrease stiffness. It also helps to nourish and supply the discs between your vertebrae. It helps with digestion, doing a lot of twisting and detoxification. And it also helps with anxiety and nervousness. So we're going to be doing some twisting today, but if you do have any issues with your neck and with your back, again, I ask you to just pay attention to how it's feeling. Everything should feel good. Everything should feel like it's comfortable in your body. And we're, of course, going to start off with a bit of a warm-up. So please join me. You will need a block unless you are super flexible and can touch the floor with your hands and have no problems twisting. I definitely need a block for that because otherwise I lose the structure and integrity of my spine. Right now I'm sitting on a block, so we're going to start in a seated position, sitting up nice and tall. Close your eyes for a moment, place your hands onto your knees or your thighs. Let your shoulders just relax down away from your ears. Just do a quick check-in with your body today, noticing if it's talking to you in any spots, physically, emotionally, mentally. Not trying to change anything here, but just being observant. Taking a few slow, nice, deep breaths in through the nose and either out through the nose or out through the mouth, whatever you prefer. Taking one more full round of breath. And then gently flutter your eyes open, keeping them nice and soft. With a tall spine, we always want to twist, so raise your arms up, keep your spine nice and tall without collapsing, and then rotate to your left, taking your right hand on the left knee, just gently touching it, and taking your left hand behind your back. And we're going to rotate again, inhaling, coming up, exhaling, dropping down. Now remember, if you haven't warmed up already before this mini class, you might feel a little stiff starting off with rotating. So be an advocate for your body and for yourself to not twist too far into the poses unless you feel warmed up. You're doing everything by feel. It should feel good. Matching the movement with your breath, inhaling, coming up, exhaling, gently rotating. Thinking about, again, rotating off of a really tall, long spine. I'm going to do one more. And then slowly come back to the center, come off of your block. You're going to lean back onto your hands with your fingers pointing forward. And then again, make sure that your shoulders aren't close to your ears, so you want to pull your shoulders down. Have your feet kind of wide and bend your knees. And now we're going to start to rotate the legs and the hips. Just letting this sensation feel really good in your hip joints as one rotates in and the opposite rotates out. Just warming up, getting our body used to rotating. And a couple more times. And then slowly come up onto all fours. And we're going to start to rotate into our ribs a little bit more. So keep your right hand down onto the ground, and your knees should be directly under your hips. Now, make a fist with your left hand and press it into the floor just for a moment. Now imagine like you're trying to start a lawnmower by pulling on that string. I don't know if lawnmowers start like that anymore, but I'm guessing they do. So you're going to pull that string and keep your elbow nice and close to your body and like push that right hand into the ground. So I'm opening up my chest, moving my torso over my shoulder, and then bring it down again. Okay, so a little quicker, it should look like this. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Doing one more, then we switch side. Good. So place the left hand down onto the floor, and then make a fist with your right hand. Trying to keep your pelvis nice and neutral. Go ahead and push your left hand into the floor. Bring your elbow up. Inhaling as you pull up. Exhaling as you drop the arm down. My neck is doing a little bit of rotation, but I'm mostly keeping it neutral. And neutral means your nose is in line with your sternum. Doing one more. Good. And then walk your hands one palm print in front of you. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Tuck your toes. Send your hips up and back into your downward facing dog. But we're going to come into a wide down dog. So bring your feet about as wide as the mat. Or if you're not on a mat, just bring them a little wider than your hips. Now from here, we're going to alternate tapping opposite arm or hand to opposite leg. So I'm going to bring my left hand to my right leg, tap, and bring it back down. And moving in diagonals, rotating here. Doing one more. Now keep your feet wide, walk your hands back and sit into a low squat at the back of your mat. Press your elbows into the insides of the knees and then extend your arms so that they can be tented on the floor. Make your spine really long. Try not to jut your chin out, so keep the chin in. And then we're going to rotate right, bring the right arm up, and bring it down, rotate left. Inhaling as you come up, exhaling as you come down. Match the movement with your breath. My breath might be different than yours, so you're going to follow your own breathing pattern here. Again, keeping my neck in neutral. I'm not cranking my head up to the ceiling. Nose is somewhat aligned to my sternum. And then walk the hands forward into your downward facing dog. Just stay here for a couple breaths. Remembering that the spine, lengthening the spine, is the main event for your downward facing dog. It's not about the limbs. And then go ahead and bring your right foot in between the hands. Grab onto that block or whatever prop you're using and put it on the outer edge of your right foot. Pivot your left foot to 45 degrees and seal the outer edge of that left foot so that your arch isn't collapsing in. And then rotate your left arm up to the ceiling for triangle pose. So imagine those two sit bones that you would normally sit on. Imagine where they are in your buttock and see if you can squeeze them in towards the midline. So my legs are super active here. I'm not hanging in my joints. Okay? I'm pushing the floor away, feeling that feedback, keeping my spine lengthened here. Now slowly lower the left hand and bring it onto that block. And we're going to do the lawnmower pulls again with the right hand. So my spine is twisted, my legs are really strong, and I'm pulling that lawnmower up for the string with my right hand. Inhaling as you come down, exhaling as you twist. Good. And then slowly pivot your back foot to face forward. Bend that front knee. Take your left elbow on top of the right thigh. And then bring your palms together. So draw in through your abdominals. Use your legs to stay really strong and stable as the spine twists on top. Keeping the length in your spine. Then untwist yourself. Take your hand on the block and one on the floor and pivot your way to the other side. Your right foot now is at 45 degrees. Your left foot is facing forward. And we're going to come into that triangle. Okay. My legs are active. They're pushing into the floor. And I'm finding where my two bony points, where my sit bones are, and squeezing them together. Obviously, you're not going to squeeze them actually together, but that's the sensation you want to feel. Stay here for a couple more breaths. And now take your right hand onto the block. Keep your legs exactly where they are and start to pull that lawnmower. Exhaling each time you pull. Good. And then pivot your back foot, bend that front knee, place your right elbow on top of your left thigh, and make a prayer with your hands. Look down at the floor. Gently turn your head to the left a little bit. And then draw your abdominals in. Unwind yourself down. Bring the block with you and pivot towards the front of the mat. Framing your right foot. Step it back, downward facing dog. Staying still in your down dog, just noticing how you feel. Lowering lowering down to your knees. Swing your legs to one side and then swing them forward. You're going to lay down onto your back. And we're going to come into a supine twist. So just lift the hips up a little bit. You're going to feel crooked, but that's the point. And shift your hips over to the right side of your mat. Okay, and then lower them down. So your body's crooked here. Now lift your legs up towards your chest and just drop your knees over to the left side, stacking them on top of each other as best you can. And then finding that length in your spine, see if you can have your arms out with your palms up, and then release and drop that right shoulder blade onto the floor. Now from here, because this is a static, passive twist that we're doing, I want you to really use your breath to create like this pumping action in your abdominal. So every time you breathe in, feel how the skin kind of stretches, and every time you exhale, pull the belly to the spine, like drawing all the abdominals in, like you're squeezing your organs. And then releasing them as you inhale, exhale, and squeeze. This is really good for your digestive organs and for digestion. Now, using the strength in your abdominals, see if you can lift your legs up and then bring them down, making yourself straight on the mat again as we go to the other side. So hips up, shift them over to your left, bring your knees in and drop your legs over. And then if you need to readjust your spine, readjust it. Left shoulder blade onto the floor. And we're taking deep breaths. Actively pulling the belly button to the spine as you twist. Slowly use your abdominals, drawing them in, bringing your legs up, and then just straightening your body out on the mat. Bring your knees to your chest and give them a hug, rocking side to side. And then bring your feet down onto the floor. Just lift your hips up just for one single bridge, squeezing your buttocks, and then lowering down. You can roll to one side and come sit up. So find a cross-legged, comfortable seat. Close your eyes. Make your spine nice and tall. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Just notice how you feel now compared to the beginning of your practice. Maybe you notice some more space and length in your spine. Maybe you notice you can breathe better. Maybe you notice your anxiety or your heart rate feels a little bit more under control. And again, we're sitting at the seat of the observer here, just noticing, not trying to change anything. With that, taking one more full breath, bring your hands hands together at the center of your chest, bowing your head down towards yourself, towards your practice, and towards your twists. Namaste. Thanks so much for joining me, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Bye.